Have you ever just stood there staring at a massive shelf of fat burners, wondering if any of that extremely expensive powder actually works? Or is it, just pure marketing hype? Well, let's dive right into it, where we're going to rely strictly on hard clinical data to separate the biological facts from the fitness fiction when it comes to natural fat-burning supplements. Look, we all want an effortless solution, right? We all want that shortcut. So we really have to start by asking the multi-billion-dollar question that essentially drives the entire supplement industry. Is there a magic pill? Actually, let's just completely shatter the magic pill illusion right out of the gate. As the clinical research makes abundantly clear, there is absolutely no supplement on Earth that can outwork a bad diet, poor sleep, or a sedentary lifestyle. I mean, if you aren't in a calorie deficit and you aren't actively training, these compounds are going to do absolutely nothing for you. But if you do have your foundation set, certain supplements can act as an incredible accelerant. To figure out how these accelerants actually work, we're going to divide this explainer into 5 distinct chapters. We'll cover caffeine and green tea, the power of protein, fiber, and satiety, the yohimbine debate, and finally, safety first, mixing medications. All right, let's kick things off with Chapter 1, Caffeine and Green Tea. To grasp how these work, let's define their primary mechanism word to word. Thermogenesis is a process in which your body burns calories to produce heat. It really is that simple. Your body literally has to expend energy to generate that heat. And the science shows that ECGC, which is this powerful antioxidant highly concentrated in green tea, works synergistically with caffeine to significantly amplify this exact thermogenic process. We're talking about resulting in roughly 16% more fat burn than a placebo. But here's where it gets interesting. There is an exact clinical threshold you have to hit. You can't just casually sip a mild cup of tea and expect to magically shed pounds. A comprehensive meta-analysis showed you need more than 3.0 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight to actually see a statistically significant increase in fat oxidation during your workouts. To put that into perspective, if you weigh 70 kilograms, that's over 210 milligrams of caffeine. That's about 2 strong cups of coffee required just to trigger that fat-burning effect. But hold on, more isn't always better. We absolutely must balance that clinical efficacy with absolute safety. The FDA advises that 400 milligrams is the maximum daily recommended limit for healthy adults. If you push past this, caffeine starts to severely interfere with your sleep architecture and your recovery. And ironically, that stalls your metabolism and completely ruins your weight management efforts in the first place. Moving right along to Chapter 2, the power of protein. Okay, let's read this definition word for word to clear up a massive gym myth right away. Muscle protein synthesis, or MPS, is the biological process of building new tissue that remains elevated for 24 to 48 hours after resistance training. Did you catch that? 24 to 48 hours. This completely debunks that old panic of the 30-minute anabolic window. Your muscles are essentially a construction site, and that site is open for business for up to 2 full days after a hard workout. Now, notice the tactical difference in digestion speeds between the 2 main types of whey protein here. Whey isolate is pretty much stripped of all fats and carbs, meaning it digests extremely fast in just 15 to 30 minutes. That makes it absolutely perfect for a rapid post-workout recovery spike. But whey concentrate, well, it has a bit more fat and carbs, which slows down the digestion, and that actually makes it the superior choice for curbing your hunger between meals. So let's see how this builds a perfect daily schedule for what we'll call a lunchtime lifter. By utilizing a whey concentrate shake as a sort of satiety anchor at 11 a.m., you leverage its slower digestion to suppress your hunger hormone, ghrelin. This ensures you have circulating amino acids during your 12:30 p.m. workout, and it fundamentally prevents you from overeating at lunch. It's just strategic timing for fat loss. All right, now prepare to have your mind absolutely blown. For decades, experts confidently said your body could only absorb 20 to 25 grams of protein in a single sitting. But a groundbreaking 2023 clinical study completely shattered that ceiling. They found that the human body can effectively utilize a massive 100-gram dose of post-workout protein, sustaining muscle building for over 12 hours. Now, you obviously don't have to eat 100 grams at once, but it's pretty fascinating to know your body won't just waste it if you do. Let's shift gears to Chapter 3, Fiber and Satiety. Let's look at one of the most effective tools for this, and we'll take the definition word for word. Glucomannan is a soluble, fermentable, and highly viscous dietary fiber derived from the root of the elephant yam, also known as konjac. The absolute key word here is viscous. When this fiber hits your digestive tract, it absorbs water and forms a thick, gel-like substance that literally takes up physical space in your gut. So the crucial takeaway here is the specific proven dosage. Clinical trials demonstrate that taking just 2 to 4 grams daily, usually an hour or so before a meal, effectively curbs your appetite. It does this by physically slowing down nutrient absorption, which then increases your fullness hormones like GLP-1 and PYY. You just feel fuller, faster, and for way longer, which makes staying in a calorie deficit significantly easier. Next up, Chapter 4, the yohimbine debate. To understand why this extract from an African tree bark is so debated, we need to read the neurology word for word. Alpha-2 adrenergic receptors are receptors that normally bind adrenaline to suppress its effects, one of which is encouraging the body to burn fat for fuel. Think of these receptors as an emergency parking brake on your body's fat-burning engine. Your body naturally wants to hold onto stubborn fat for survival, and these receptors are the exact mechanism it uses to lock that fat away. So, yohimbine acts as an antagonist. It literally inserts itself into those alpha-2 receptors and effectively blocks them. By releasing that biological parking brake, it increases norepinephrine in your nervous system, prolonging your adrenaline's effects and promoting lipolysis, which is the actual breakdown of that stubborn fat. And the quantitative data proves this really does work in humans. In a famous 2006 trial by Ostajic, they gave 20 milligrams of yohimbine daily to elite soccer players. Over just 21 days, these athletes saw a significant 2.2% drop in body fat. What makes this so absolutely remarkable is that elite soccer players are already incredibly lean. Stripping away an additional 2% of body fat from a professional athlete is a massive biological shift. But a biological shift of that magnitude brings us right to our final chapter, Chapter 5, Safety First. We really have to ground all this exciting science with some sobering FDA warnings, because natural definitely does not mean safe. These are highly active biological compounds. For instance, combining ginkgo biloba or vitamin E with over-the-counter aspirin or prescription blood thinners drastically increases your risk of internal bleeding. And that yohimbine we just talked about, it can cause severe panic attacks and life-threatening interactions with blood pressure or depression medications. You absolutely must disclose your entire supplement stack to your doctor and stop all of them 2 to 3 weeks before any surgery. No exceptions. Which really brings us to the ultimate truth of the science of fat loss. Whether you're utilizing L-carnitine to mobilize fatty acids, precision timing your whey protein isolate, or using strict milligram doses of caffeine for thermogenesis, the clinical evidence is totally unanimous. These tools only work and only provide lasting results when paired with a consistent, nutrient-rich diet and adequate, intense physical training. They are supplements to your hard work, not magical replacements for it. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative question to really chew on. Now that you actually understand the underlying cellular mechanisms, the proper clinical dosages, and the strict safety limits of these compounds, how are you going to systematically and responsibly integrate them into your own training to finally break through your plateaus? Think about your schedule, your diet, and your personal goals. Use the science to your advantage, train hard, and stay safe out there.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another science-backed fitness video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.